Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special video showcase we are going to be continuing with the fan home build your own Optimus Prime figure. That's right guys, once we've done all the stages this is going to look exactly like that. Well, fingers crossed anyway, but before we have a look at the model bits and the stage parts, we're going to have a quick look at the magazine. This is issue 52. We've got some movie facts at the beginning. Then we've got where we move on to, again, certain character profiles, things like that. It does actually pick individual characters as well, gives you a bit of a profile about them. We then get to look at the toys, and at this particular time we're up to Beast Wars 3. We started off with Generation 1, we're moving into Beast Wars, and as I say, these look to be the Transmetals and things like that. I've got to confess guys, my knowledge on Beast Wars toys isn't the greatest. This is the stage in question, so it looks like we're going to be marrying up some of the parts from the earlier stages, attaching them, and again some of the parts that we already had previously built in the last issue as well. So let's get these parts out of the pack and let's get building. So this stage looks to be like it's going to be quite fiddly in honesty because of how small all the screws are, but what we need to do first and foremost, you can see here, is take the door that we previously assembled, which we've got there. We've got two connecting parts. This larger part's going to go into this metal piece, which again was specially protected, and we've got this part here which should fit by the looks of this. It looks like it's going to be self-explanatory. It does. I just want to make sure that I've got the correct orientation. What I mean by that is, okay, yeah, so just in case you were unsure, now it does fit both ways. You can see it fits both ways, but if you look at this properly, when you turn it that way around, it will fit perfectly under there. We need two little screws. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the two screws in there, and at the same time we then take this is going to be exactly the same. You can see it says L, and we need this to go in by the looks of it that way. Is that the only way it goes in? I want to make sure it's right because you can't tell from these images. It will go that way as well, but does that give me an indication? Yeah, there you go. So from the orientation of that, we need this bits at the front. That's going to go in there, and again this is going to be held in with 2 AM screws. So let me put all 4 screws in. So that is them 2 screws in there, holding that in place, which you can see, and that is the 2 screws in there holding that in place. Now what I've done, and I've got to confess, I've slightly not cheated, but I've got a teeny bit ahead. The reason for this part I found in the last time we did this very difficult, and that is due to the fact of how small these screws are. These screws are absolutely tiny. So what I've done, you can see there they are, I've started to screw them into there, and then we're going to pop them on this bracket like so, and then we're going to screw this into there on the roof. Again, same as what we did way back, I think it was in stage 2 or maybe 3, but because of how difficult it was, what I've done is I've put the screws in first rather than trying to reach down into the bracket there. So let me just get it attached and screwed in place. Yeah, so as I said, what I've done is I've cheated a little bit. I've lined this up and I've screwed that in first, and now I'm going to be attaching it to this via them ports there. And as I say, the reason why I did that is because in honesty I found it so difficult on the other one, just probably because, if I'm being super honest, I probably didn't have the correct workstation, or indeed I suppose the sort of correct tools, because if I had a vice or something, I'm carefully just pressing that into position, and because it is so fine and so thin. So we've got that. Now this is where it's going to get super interesting, because we're going to start to really take shape on this torso. I'm going to keep it rolling just for a few seconds so I can show you this now. So let's lift up this. Is it going to balance? That's the thing. In fact, if it doesn't balance, I'm going to show you anyway. So we're going to attach the window to this. It's going to go over the top of there like so. It's going to fit via them two. There's 2 tabs here, 2 tabs there, then blue bits, they're going to fit into there. This cable's going to go over the top, and it's going to fit into the last remaining socket there. So in fact, whilst we're here, let's pop this into position. Let's make sure that it doesn't trap the wire like so. I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure to push that in. That's starting to look amazing. What I'm going to have to do now though, in fact I can turn it round, you can get the gist of what I'm going to do, but again, just to save time on the video, all I'm going to be doing is connecting, please don't fall, is the cable that's come directly out of the back of the window we've just put in. I'm going to be connecting it into the back, so I'll get that done and show you what it looks like. So then this is what I've done. I've connected that in to the back there. So all them three in the top you can see are secured. I'm going to try and do this one-handed now, guys. Let's see if we can do this. So if we take this part which we had earlier, that is the clip side down, which I said this is going to fit onto here. So in well, all hopefulness, let me see if I can attach this whilst watching it at the same time through the phone and clipping it in place. I might not be able to do this. I'm hoping that I can. I don't really want to attach it. In fact, I'm going to. Let me just put this on the stand. So there, and I've stood it up, and again you can see this is going to fit. I'm going to try and balance this without breaking it or knocking anything over there. I can now hold the torso in position. Hopefully you can sort of see where I'm lining this up with. It should fit. Oh, I've just missed that. How have I done that? Let me line this back up. There we go. It's going into place now. It's just a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, to be honest. Look at this. Oh, I've just knocked that bit off the side. Funnily enough, that's the same bit that somebody told me came off on theirs. It wasn't even present. So what is going on here? Why is that not going in? Because there's no other way for it to go. If I turn it upside down, or if I turn it the way around, shall we say, it won't go into that place. So I'm struggling. I'm continuing to roll, because if you have this same issue, you're going to want to know that it's not yours, it's not your fault. And what I'm going to have to do though first is I'm going to have to glue that bit back on. So bear with me. There we go, it's in. It just took a little bit more manoeuvring, to be honest. Again, reaching around the camera just poses too many problems sometimes. But while we're in this same place, there's a huge ball and socket there. Well, ball there. There's the socket ready to go in. So fingers crossed. Perhaps I should have given this a dry. I didn't need to give it a dry run. It's gone in. There's the door. Wow, this torso is proper taking shape now. Let's slide, there we go, angle it upright. Loads of movement, loads of articulation, but that concludes, thankfully, a little bit tougher than I thought it'd be, stage 52.